Now at 10, Missouri lawmakers advance a bill that would limit teachers' discussions about race with students. Plus, Pitt State is spending $50 million to expand the university's reach in the Block 22 neighborhood. And we'll meet a Philadelphia Eagles fan living in Chiefs Kingdom and learn how he's preparing for the Super Bowl.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
A bill advancing in the Missouri Senate would limit how educators teach public K through 12 students about race. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The Republican-led Senate gave the measure initial approval. The bill would prohibit public school teachers from saying individuals are inferior, should get advantages, or bear collective guilt because of their race. Democrats say it would also discourage teachers from talking about slavery and Black history. Spokesman for the state's largest teachers union condemned the proposed legislation. It's expected to get another vote of approval and move to the GOP-led House. Big announcement from Pitt State this afternoon, a $50 million project that will expand the university's footprint in the Block 22 neighborhood. The school says the keystone for the district will be a new building for the Kels College of Business at 5th and Broadway, on the property currently leased by BMO Harris Bank. The project also includes the redevelopment of the historic Bess Hotel, the tallest building in southeast Kansas. In addition, the university will partner with the Colonial Fox Theater to share space in a two-story pavilion already planned by the theater to be built on the empty lot owned by the Fox.
We'll be able to have living learning communities where students will be able to live essentially right around the corner from their classrooms. That will allow us to do all kinds of different experiential sort of projects with the businesses that are around us, co-ops, internships, just all kinds of things.
Of the total $50 million cost, the Pittsburgh State University Foundation already has $7 million in hand, contributed by donors for the Kels College of Business portion. The university this week learned it's also getting a $12.5 million grant from the Kansas Department of Commerce. Private-public partnerships will be sought to shore up the gap. Construction is slated to start in 2024 with classes beginning in 2026. A pet food factory in Miami, Oklahoma will soon have a new owner. Nestle Purina Pet Care announced plans to buy Red Collar Pet Foods in Miami. Purina has worked with the Red Collar team since last year to co-manufacture several pet treats under its Purina and Zooks brands. Red Collar says the sale underscores the quality of the Miami operations and team. The Miami factory will be the 22nd Purina-owned and operated facility nationwide. Purina is voluntarily recalling some of its prescription dog food because of potentially elevated levels of vitamin D. Recall includes the Pro Plan Veterinary Diet's EL Elemental Prescription Dry Dog Food. Purina received 2 reports of dogs with signs of vitamin D toxicity after eating the food. Once they stopped, the dogs recovered. While vitamin D is an essential nutrient for dogs, if they ingest too much, it can cause vomiting, loss of appetite, increased thirst, increased urination, and kidney dysfunction. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Well, after all the rain that we've seen over the past couple days, today actually turned out to be a pretty good one. We got sunshine back. 54 was our afternoon high. Started at 35, normal high is 48, so a little bit above where we should be for this time of the year. We are tracking a weak system that is going to rotate through tonight. You can already see a little bit of rain, a little bit of light snow starting to pick up on the Kansas side, really from Parsons up towards Chanute. A lot of this is not quite reaching the ground. It is once you get back up across Greenwood and also Woodson County. But this is going to sink south and east as we go through the overnight hours tonight, kind of flare up a bit along the I-44 corridor. So we are going to get some bands of light snow through the night into the early morning hours. I don't expect to see much in the way of accumulation, but still something we want to watch with temperatures sitting right around the freezing mark. Of course, we're going to break this down, look into Super Bowl weekend here in just a bit.
See you soon. This is definitely Chiefs Kingdom, but there are still some Eagles fans here in the 4 states. KOAM Shagun Bamadelli spoke with a Philadelphia native who's been living behind enemy lines in Joplin.
Greg Ocho, a man born and raised in Philadelphia, is confident that his childhood team, the Eagles, will win the Super Bowl on Sunday.
I may be from I may live here now, but I'm from Philly. I've always rooted for my home team, whether it be the Eagles, the Phillies, the Flyers, anybody.
Greg says although he is in enemy territory, the people of Missouri has been kind to him.
There's very few Eagles fans around here. There's some more came out of the woodwork since they're in the Super Bowl, but not too many. I live in Missouri. I like the Chiefs. They have a good coach, they have a good team, but I have to go with my home team.
The military brought Greg to Missouri.
Right here, Uncle Sam brought me down here. I was in the military and moved to North Carolina, from North Carolina to Texas to Arkansas, and then I met this young lady right here, and she lives up here, so we moved up here.
Despite he is in enemy territory, Greg says he will continue to root for his home team.
I root for my home team. I am not one of those fly by the seat of your pants people who, wherever I live, I root for. I stick with my home team. I was born and raised in Philadelphia. I went to school in Philadelphia, so that's who I root for.
Reporting in Joplin, Shagun Bamdele, KOAM News.
Gotta respect your home team loyalty, Greg, but hope you are wrong with your prediction that the Eagles will win by a score of 24-14. As Super Bowl weekend approaches, bickering between Chiefs and Eagles fans is pretty common on social media. However, it's good for fans to remember that good sportsmanship is one of the best ways to truly rep their team. The coach for the Carl Junction High School girls basketball team attributes an unlikely win to good sportsmanship. They were down more than 20 points late in the game. Yet his players showed great sportsmanship, he says, despite the score, and ended up winning. Coach Shorter leads by example.
And how I conduct myself in pressure type situations or situations maybe that don't go my way or our way as a team. I think that's really important. So modeling that good sportsmanship, I think really kind of bleeds into your team and gives them a chance to also have that good sportsmanship in return.
Says, remember, having a passion for sports does not give you a free ticket to be a bad sport. McDonald County Food Service students are gearing up for an upcoming banquet. Today they serve Disney-themed sample meal ideas to the school librarians who chose which ones would be served at the banquet. The event is a Gateway Readers Award luncheon and will feature a popular guest author. It's usually catered by outside companies, but this year the librarian wanted to give food service students a chance to get some experience.
It feels like an amazing opportunity, to be honest. Yeah, I thought, like, if I'm going to be cooking, I'm just going to keep cooking for myself, my teacher, and my classmates, things like that. But cooking for other people, for them to try my dish, I honestly want to know their own ratings on it. So if there's anything like they want me to correct on it or anything they need me to add to it or take it away, I'm always be able to. It'll be a great pleasure to listen to other people.
The luncheon banquet will be in March. Southeast Kansas organization is making a fundraiser look as easy as pie. The Masonic Lodge in Chanute sold chili and pie to raise money for a fund that community members can use to help pay for utilities and rent. In total, they sold 435 pies and 229 chili orders.
So being a minister in the community just pays back for the community and stuff. So, and that's Christ's mission is to pay back.
Masonic Lodge has been raising money for this fund for more than 40 years. Coming up, how the federal government is condemning China for using a spy balloon in U.S. airspace. Plus, Southwest airline executives get grilled by lawmakers on Capitol Hill over its Christmas time meltdown. The House approved a resolution today formally condemning China for its use of this surveillance balloon over the United States, which was shot down by the military off the coast of South Carolina on Saturday. The measure won unanimous support, marking a rare moment of bipartisanship in that sharply divided House. The measure also calls for the Biden administration to continue providing information to Congress through comprehensive briefings of the situation. Southwest Airlines is on Capitol Hill today, where a top executive apologized for a travel fiasco that stranded thousands of flyers over the holidays. But in testimony before a Senate committee, the carrier was accused of ignoring warnings and valuing investors over passengers. Reporter Dina Demetrius has that story.
Let me be clear, we messed up.
Southwest Airlines chief operating officer apologized for the December meltdown that stranded thousands of passengers in the wake of a winter storm.
At this point, the disruption changed from a weather event that all airlines experienced to a crew event that was unique to us.
But testifying before the Senate Commerce Committee, a leader of the pilots union accused Southwest of ignoring years of warnings.
For years, our pilots have been sounding the alarm about Southwest's inadequate crew scheduling technology and outdated operational processes.
Nearly 17,000 flights were canceled in an operational failure that went on for more than a week, while passengers were unable to rebook or reach customer service.
It took hours to reach a live person, if they ever reached a live person at all.
There was no amount of people we could have put in place to handle all the calls at that time because of the scale of the disruption.
Southwest says it's already making upgrades to its technology, but the root causes of its meltdown will take longer to fix.
When will it be completed?
We're undergoing the assessment right now. We are doing a top-to-bottom view of our winter operations, and they'll undoubtedly be in the millions and millions of dollars.
Paul Hudson leads a nonprofit that advocates for airline passengers and says while travelers suffer, investors are the winners.
Good service costs money, and bad service saves money. And that money can be used for dividends, stock buybacks, and executive compensation.
Southwest says it has processed refunds and returned lost bags, but admits some customers are still waiting to be compensated. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
More Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. The Labor Department reported that first-time applications for unemployment benefits rose last week to 196,000. That's 13,000 more than the previous week and about 6,000 more than economists were expecting. You might soon be able to stop saving up just to buy a carton of eggs. Wholesale egg prices have been dropping from their record high around the middle of December, but it might take some time for that to translate to prices at the grocery store. That's because of inflation and concern that the main reason prices went up in the first place, a massive outbreak of avian influenza, is still circulating. Meta has restored former President Donald Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts after a 2-year ban. The move comes weeks after the company announced it would do so. Meta suggested that time frame would allow guardrails to be placed on the accounts to make them easier to suspend again if necessary. Following the events of January 6, Meta instituted the ban on both accounts. A little bit later, we're going to learn who's been named the NFL's most valuable player.
Plus, we're going to get a little bit of rain and snow pushing through as we go into the overnight hours tonight. We're going to check that out coming up. Well, after all the rain that we had earlier this week, it actually turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today. Quite a bit of sunshine. Temperatures fantastic as we went into the mid-50s during the afternoon, so a little bit above where we should be for this time of the year. Looks pretty good right now. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Look at these rain stats. We need it. Southeast Kansas still very dry. About 1/10 of an inch today, 1.35 for the month. For the year, a little over 3 inches, so we're actually above normal, at least for 2023. All right, cooling down, 35 Stockton, 43 at Grand Lake, Parsons sitting at 40, 39 in Neosho. These are important due to a little bit of moisture that is working through tonight, so the closer we get to that freezing mark, the higher the chances it's not rain, that it's actually snow. Temperatures will drop back right around 31-ish. As we go through the overnight hours. All right, look at these light showers, light snow showers, which have popped up over about the past hour and a half. A lot of this leading edge is not reaching the ground, but this is once you get back into our far northwestern counties. So where you see the blue, that is some light snow. You can see trying to get down there just north of Parsons, but most of this is kind of Greenwood County and then right through Yates Center just north of Viola. But this little band is going to kind of travel south and east as we go through the overnight hours tonight as this system kicks out. It's fairly weak right now. It really intensifies once it passes by. So we're not going to get great effects from it, but we are going to get a little bit of rain and snow into the region. All right, let's go through time. So here's 3:30 in the morning, tiny little band, but there could be 5-10 minutes of moderate snow within this band. So a little band right along the I-44 corridor. Look at our temperatures, 33, 34 degrees. It would have to come down really hard to get any slick spots on the roads. I think any accumulation we would see would be mainly on the grassy surfaces. All right, 6:30 in the morning still. We got light snow showers, and then by 9 or 10 pretty much falls apart. The clouds stick around into the early afternoon, then we get some sunshine back by late afternoon. Most of us across the board, high temps right around 40 degrees. Tomorrow night it gets cold. We clear out, we drop back lower 20s for overnight lows, and then watch the winds on Saturday. Those southerly winds will help our temperatures warm up and kind of kick off a pretty nice weather weekend here for Super Bowl Sunday. But temperatures on Saturday should go right around 50 degrees, which is pretty good. All right, if we had any accumulations, and that is a pretty big if, I would say from Parsons, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Miami, into northwest Arkansas, dusting, maybe a half an inch. So not much from this little system. We'll start with clouds and snow showers in the 30s. We get some sunshine back, but high temps only right around 40 during the afternoon. Let's jump into Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. If you're heading out, going to any Super Bowl parties, we're sitting into the 50s. We drop back into the 40s, and we're going to be on the dry side, which is good news as we head into the weekend. 40 tomorrow, 50 Saturday, 56 Super Bowl Sunday. Monday, we'll get some showers in here by the evening. Pretty good chances, showers and thunderstorms on Valentine's Day. Maybe a little wintry mix next Wednesday and Thursday, but at least the weekend looks pretty good.
Yeah, good Sunday evening to stay inside and watch a Super Bowl or something.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
It's a good idea.
Thanks, Doug. A new study of children ages 11 to 16 finds long-term exposure to particulate matter, which are tiny air pollutants that come from car exhaust fumes, was associated with higher blood pressure, especially in girls. Interestingly, researchers in London also found a different pollutant, nitrogen dioxide, was linked to lower blood pressure. Still ahead, MVP honors for Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. No surprise there. And the Missouri Southern women aim to even the season series against the rival Pitt State Gorillas. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
Well, the NFL awards ceremony is tonight in Phoenix, Arizona, and in a surprise to not really anybody, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes has been named the league's MVP this evening. Now, for Mahomes, it's his second career MVP. This season, he threw for 5,200 yards and 41 touchdowns, leading the league in both categories. Now, his first MVP came in 2018 when he threw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. Now, Mahomes is now one of just 10 players in NFL history to win multiple MVP awards. Mahomes and the Chiefs are just 3 days away from playing in the Super Bowl. Chiefs face the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday in Super Bowl 57, their third Super Bowl appearance in 4 years. Now, Kansas City heads into the big game with the best QB in the league and also the league's best tight end. And Travis Kelce led all tight ends with 1,300 receiving yards in the regular season. He was also second in the entire league in receiving touchdowns with 12. Check this out. Kelce is already second all-time in playoff receiving yards.
Why am I always open? I say it all the time. Andy Reid, baby. Big Red. He can dial some stuff up at the right time, create some things at the right time, and then on top of that, everybody is doing their job. It's not just me just go out there and get open kind of play. I'm sure you guys like to think that, but there's a lot of madness to it. And there's a lot of guys doing their job for the big picture, and I'm fortunate that I'm playing here for sure.
Missouri Southern Lions are off to a hot start to the baseball season. Last week, Southern went 4-0 on opening weekend, with all 4 games being played at home. Now tonight, the Lions on the road for the first time, facing Henderson State. That one is final. Southern holds on to win a good one 4-3. Will Doherty goes 1 for 3 with a double and a pair of RBIs. Well, this week is rivalry week for Pitt State and Missouri Southern basketball. 2 teams meet Saturday in Pittsburgh in their second matchup of the season. And on the women's side, Lions have won 9 straight, but Pitt State won the last meeting 87-79 in early January. In that game, Gorillas kind of shot the lights out, going 50% from the field and 55% from 3. So defense is key for Southern, but also rebounding. In that meeting last time out, Pitt State out-rebounded the Lions 40-27.
It's going to be a huge factor. You know, we got to, one, keep them off the offensive boards for sure, and then we got to get some second opportunities, which we didn't do, and they did a great job of keeping us off the boards. And then the transition defense is always going to be big because they love to push the ball. They're averaging almost 80 points a game. You don't average 80 points a game walking the ball up and down the floor. So transition defense is going to be huge as well.
The rivalry games, I think, are always the funnest, and especially on the road at Pitt, they have such a good support system that just going over there and playing is so much fun just because their atmosphere is so exciting.
So how about Patrick Mahomes, his second career MVP already? It's almost as if he's good at football.
It's getting looked
I'm
that
starting
way.
to believe that.
Yes. MVP, most valuable Pat. We'll be right back. Hey, who you picking to win the Super Bowl, Giraffe? A baby giraffe at Blank Park Zoo in Des Moines made his pick. Bakari was offered 2 sets of leaves, one with the Chiefs logo beside it, the other with the Eagles. Smart giraffe. Took him a little while to decide, but yeah, you see, he chose the Chiefs to win. His mom must have agreed with his decision as she started munching along with him on the Chiefs side. You know, our news director, Britt, she told me she had this story about Giraffe picking the Super Bowl winner and wanted to know if I wanted to use it. And I said, well, it depends. Who did the Giraffe pick?
I was going to say, when you started reading that, I was like, surely we're not running one
No,
with the
if it hadn't been a smart giraffe, we wouldn't have used it, but clearly it was. The weather.
Well, a little bit of a rain-snow mix late tonight into tomorrow morning. Accumulations very light. High temp of 40.
Final sports notes.
Pitt State baseball home opener tomorrow against Regis. We'll have those highlights right here tomorrow night.
Morning show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.